Welcome to the world of sex, where we talk about sex and sex issues, because it's an important part of life and everyone needs to get comfortable talking about this stuff. It is Thursday, June 10th, 2021.
It's interesting because so I recently last year I got really into K-pop and thus Korea. And so I watch a lot of like Korean reaction videos, Koreans react to. And there's this one that I follow on YouTube, and it's really cute and great. And it was like two Korean guys react to Korean adult film star. And it was so interesting because like she was like, because they're really pretty conservative still in Korea, but instead of here, in America, it's like, oh, you're a porn star, you're trash. Oh, you're this, blah. You're a sinful person, blah. These guys were like, the person was like, do you know what she does? And they're like, I don't know, maybe this or that. And she's like, I'm actually an adult film star. And they're like, whoa. And like, they were so curious instead of like, is your family proud of you? They weren't like that at all. And it was like, refreshing how it wasn't like a bad, dirty thing. It was just like, curiosity, complete curiosity instead. And I also learned that even adult films in Korea, they don't use penetration at all. There's no penetration. So the more you know. See, you're welcome. Already learning stuff.
No, I did not know that.
Yeah, I didn't either. And then I watched the girls react to a guy, Korean porn star, and it was really refreshing and nice. And she was also a little bit, saucier because because she has had experiences where people thought, she's a bad person or whatever, but she's like, in that industry, you really have to fight for yourself and advocate for yourself and that kind of thing. And so, even it's just interesting, even in Korea, like where it's like conservative more, it's like, dang, America, we just still kind of give anywhere you go, you could get a different education about sex, if any. And it's like, oh, they're bad people for this and doing that. And she likes to have sex. Oh, she's a slut. Which, by the way, John, did you know the English definition of the word slut is just a woman who has many sexual partners? There's nothing inherently evil about that. It's just a woman who has many sexual partners. A woman who likes to fuck. Cool. Like, that's all it is. It's not even meant to be derogatory.
It has come to mean that, and then I think there's also some taking back of the term. So that
the slut walk and stuff. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, America's really, it's got a lot of stuff going on when it comes to like
complicated.
Sex. It's a little complicated right now. Always has been, still complicated.
How long is it before the average man ejaculates during sexual intercourse?
And this is the average between, 15 years old to 70.
Right. And this is starting with vaginal penetration.
3.42 minutes. 3 minutes.
You almost said seconds.
Yeah, I know. I know I did. I almost said seconds. I was like, wait. No. 3 minutes and 42 seconds is the average, I believe.
All right. Correct answer. You are not too far off. 5.4 minutes.
That makes me hopeful too. Then hearing that, I'm like, cool. Like, I was like, I'm going to lowball it just to like, not make anyone feel bad. Like, this is what I expect. And like, oh, okay, cool. It's a little bit longer.
I think genetically speaking, it doesn't make any sense for a man to take a long time.
Right. Biologically. Yeah.
Yes, biologically speaking, it's better to just like get in there and get it done.
Yeah, that's because ultimately that is the entire point of sex, is for procreation, which then begs the question, why does the clitoris exist? Clitoris exists. There we go. Because, there's no biological need for a woman to orgasm in order to procreate. So it's like, what's the clit even doing there?
Well, I think it's another thing where, like, if it feels good, you are more likely to want to do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But the clitoris isn't necessarily stimulated when you're having vaginal intercourse, so right. It's like, yeah, I mean, yeah. And if the G-spot is, an extension, if you do think about it like that, an extension sort of, or another part of the clitoris, and that makes sense. But again, with like we said with penetration, you know, a lot of women don't reach orgasm with that. So it's just so interesting and so understudied. But
It's definitely understudied. I think one of the things in that podcast I was listening to is that in medical textbooks, as late as the late 20th century, in many of our lifetimes, the clitoris was not even labeled in medical textbooks.
yep.
Medical textbooks that they used to train doctors
Mm-hmm.
did not have the clitoris listed as a thing.
Yeah, I believe it. I mean, one of my other favorite just stories about sex is just like how back the vibrator was first invented, but it was like gas powered by a doctor, and these guys are like, doctor, my wife's being all crazy, and he's like, oh, just bring her in, and just she's just being hysterical. I know, I can fix her, I can fix her, and then it's just like, and then she probably had to have her husband's permission to be there at the doctor's office. He's like, just lay back, I'll take care of you. And she's like, oh my word, I was just being so crazy, but I feel so fine now. Like, geez, doc, how much do I owe you? She's just fine. Like that, it was, I'm pretty, like, I've seen like cartoons of it, like implying that it was gas powered, but I'm like, it was in the early 1900s. I feel like that might be correct. Like, there's a gas powered vibrator. Like, I'll make your wife come, you know, she'll be fine. And it's just, I mean, I guess I'm grateful for it because I do appreciate personal massagers very much, but it's just crazy. Like, have you thought about asking her why she's upset? I don't have time for that. No.
No, why start listening to women in the medical field now? Then we'll just have to keep doing it.
And then I also, this is kind of sex related, I get, well, it was just about women being put into mental hospitals and like the reasons for it. And it was like, well, she just had a miscarriage, but why is she not making me dinner? I mean, she's being crazy. And it's like, whew, yeah, I guess they just put her in the hospital until she calms down, stops being so hysterical. Yeah.
Men being in charge of society in general for hundreds and hundreds of years, I think was a terrible idea.
It was rough. It's been rough. It's definitely set us up for a lot of fixing and patching up to do stuff. But I mean, you know, yeah, definitely a little bit of female input would have been nice. But we are here now.
Let's split it. Even today, we're not
Mhm.
even close to being half women and half men in charge.
No.
Terrible idea.
Yeah. But, you know, I agree. But
Or let's do a third men and a third women and a third non-binary.
yeah, non-binary. Yeah. And that would be fucking awesome. But
About time.
about time.
News item of the day. Apparently in Uganda, there is a form of taxi driver called a boda boda.
Uh-huh.
And basically you are on a motorcycle and you pick people up on the back of your motorcycle and you take them places.
Mm-hmm.
There is a pattern of risky behavior, according to this article, that is going down where people don't pay for their boda boda drive, and instead they offer sexual favors to the drivers to pay for the ride. This has happened to 12% of all of the drivers that they surveyed, and 57% of those did not use a condom during this interaction, and they are afraid that this is going to spark a giant health crisis. So that's a lot of information right there. We're swapping sex for motorcycle rides.
I suppose I would perhaps start with, why don't people have money to pay for these rides? And why are they needing to swap sex for them?
At the base of so many of these conversations, wealth inequality is at the very core of it.
For me, like, I'm also a big sex work is work. And if we fucking made it safe and regulated, then you could make them pay taxes and then we would have more money.
And there would be more protections for the workers who wouldn't have to hide.
Yes.
And be dominated by nefarious people.
Yes, exactly. But part of me is like, you know, live your life, do what you want to do. If they're okay with it, cool, go for it. But a huge part of me is like, bring some fucking condoms. God damn it. But then again, I bet condoms are expensive.
I had almost the same reaction. Number one is, is it happening between two consenting adults?
Yeah.
If so, maybe just leave that alone.
Mm-hmm.
Second, in Uganda, the rate of HIV is 5.6%. So it's out there and it's a real concern. So
yeah.
Really, really the problem is let's do some condom wearing, Boda folks.
Yeah. Oh, but John, it doesn't feel as good with the condom.
Oh, you know what? Still feels good. So there you go.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy. It does. Yeah. Like, and that is a really quick sidebar. Like, I personally, as a female, have never been able to feel like the veins of a dick with my pussy without a condom. You know, it just feels like a kind, you know, it feels better than like a pole, but I'm certainly not like, man, I can't feel the veins of your dick when you wear a condom. Like my pussy is not that sensitive to where I can sense that. Yeah, and so
I'm
people
just thinking, what kind of immense high blood pressure situation would you have to get those veins to pop so much?
Yeah. And then to have a vaginal canal as sensitive as your clitoris, it seems like you would have to have that. So that whole, I think that's my bullshit. I don't give a fuck like about the like you gotta wear a condom. I don't give a fuck. Like,
now, there are certain condoms that I have worn that are thicker than others.
Yeah. Sure.
I definitely notice a difference in sensation when wearing those, but you just switch kinds of condom and you're fine.
Yeah. And I mean, I know in America though, condoms are expensive if you want nice ones or decent, you know, like the type that you like or whatever. So I see the point and the problem of, I see the concern, obviously, of the spreading of HIV and stuff.
But that seems more like an educational issue. Like we just need to spread some awareness about this and maybe have some funding for, I don't know, little condom pouch on your motorcycle or something.
Yeah. I really think that all condoms should be free. I mean, I get, or at least like, because, you know, there used to be free condoms at like the coffee shop here in town, and they were basic ass, like not lubricated or anything condoms, still a condom, which is great. But like, you know, the free condoms should still be good condoms that people want to use. And then of course you can do your upgrade to the Trojan Ecstasy or something. I don't know if we might have to edit out the Trojan part. I don't know if we're trying to do product placement or anything,
maybe we can get a sponsorship deal.
Maybe.
We're open to it.
I mean, I am very pro those condoms. I think they are probably the best condoms to wear. But if you want to maybe try to feel those veins, Trojan Ecstasy. No.
One of the positive things about this article, about this news story, is that the head of HIV prevention for Uganda says, okay, really, the real issue is we need to educate people, offer HIV prevention services, offer free condoms. So they're not coming down too hard on this whole situation. They just recognize it's a problem and they're trying to address it in a people-friendly way, which is honestly shocking to me that is the attitude.
If this were happening in America, I know it would probably be handled way differently of like, these women need to be put to death, these harlots.
I laugh, but you're not too far off.
I know, like, yeah, like, look at these women seducing these Uber drivers with their
poor innocent drivers who are just trying to earn
drivers, and these women with their female prowess offering sex for a ride.
We will catapult you into the sun.
It's not funny, but you gotta laugh. Well, I'm glad. I'm happy that Uganda's taking those kind of steps instead of the "we'll murder them" steps, which America might, you know.
Right on my to-do list. Move to Uganda.
Yes. Yep.
Okay. Rebecca, thanks for joining me today. We're going to come back and do this one more time this week. Why not?
Yeah, I'm down.
All right. See you then.
See you then.
Thanks so much for joining us today. We'll see you again next time on The World of Sex.